I'm going to show you guys exactly how to beat ESPNBet. We're going to go through, I'm going to show you how to use the sportsbook and also some of the plays that are on there for the MLB that you can take advantage of that no other sportsbook has, and you can exploit it in your favor to give yourself an edge. So let's jump over to the laptop and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to look for on the sportsbook ESPNBet in order to beat them. Okay, so once you log into ESPNBet, this is what it looks like obviously once you hit the sportsbook. And obviously right off the bat, just like I tell you guys with other sportsbooks, the stuff that they show you right away is not the stuff that you want to do. Okay, look right here what they post. Parlays, this one right here is a plus 4,468 parlay, saying 155 people placed that bet. Look, $10 pays almost $500. Yeah, this is for 3 players to grab a home run. Guys, the percentage of this right here hitting is below 1%. So take it for what it is right there. That's why they put that out there for you. More stuff here. Look, parlays, plus 1,000 parlay, plus 940 parlay, plus 500 parlay, plus 236 parlay. Every single one, I ran the numbers on every single one of these ones that they give, put out for you that they want you to bet. None of them had over a 3% probability. None of them. None of them. So just think, every single one that you're betting here, if you play exactly what it is they want you to play, that's a 3% shot that you're going to be able to, in some cases less than 1% like this one, that you'll even be able to hit something like this. And that's what they want, because even if you put $10 on it, well, if a million people put $10 on it, guess how much money they're making? Yeah, exactly, right? So let's go ahead and jump into exactly what you need to be looking for. So I'm just going to use some examples here, okay? I'm not putting up any plays. It's not what I'm going to go through doesn't mean that this is what you should be betting on today. That's not what this is. This is for me to show you exactly where you need to find that stuff at. All right, so let's say the Dodgers-Marlins game here. So what you want to do is, look, they don't even really give you a tab to click on, and people don't understand that, and they don't see this. But look, if you just hover over and then you just click, it brings you to a whole new page with a bunch of different bets. Okay, so some people were asking like alternate totals on games, how do you manipulate that? Look, this is the bar right here where you can manipulate that. So, you can put it this way, you can put it all the way that way, you can bring it, drag it all the way the other way. So that's how you can manipulate the lines for the totals, okay? Just like that. Now, player props. Let's get to player props because this is pretty big, and this is where a lot of sportsbooks don't offer some of this stuff. Okay, so for example, first thing, player total home runs, over, under. A lot of sports books give you the over, okay, because look at the astronomical odds on that, plus 1,100, plus 500, plus 475. They want you to be able to bet those and try to get, like they showed in the beginning, a parlay with a bunch of people trying to hit a home run. But where the value actually is the opposite side, and this is one of the sports books that actually offer this to you, where you can bet for a player to not hit a home run, which is huge because the probabilities on those, when you run sometimes, are like 95%. So what you can do here is you could take a couple players and put them together, and you can create yourself a parlay that actually gives you like a 70 to 75% probability of hitting, because what you're doing is taking 3 players, let's say, that have 95+% probability to not hit a home run on that day, and putting them together to give yourself a ticket that's maybe minus 270, minus 280 or whatnot, but has 75%, 80% shot at winning. So this is one of the sports books that allow you to do that, and definitely take advantage of it. One downside of ESPNBet is lately they haven't been doing too well, and I have to think it's because of some of the lines that they offer where they can get caught for sure, and they're on the fence of whether shutting it down or not. But hopefully they could stay going and stay rolling, because we're taking advantage of a lot of these lines that they offer that not a lot of other people offer. Now, the total hits, this is another one for just a player hits. Not a lot of sports books offer the under 1.5 hits, where there's tremendous value actually there on certain players. Now, you obviously have to know the probability of those players. You have to be able to search that and find that stuff. But under 1.5 hits, they don't allow this at a lot of sports books. So sometimes you'll find a player that has a 75-80% chance to get under 1.5 hits, and this is the only sports book really where you could find that at. There's really not no other sports books. And the same thing goes here. You could find a couple players just like that under home runs prop. You could find a couple players that have 95% probability to not get 2 hits in a game. Put them together. Now you got yourself a decent little parlay ticket. Now, I always, say don't parlay, but there are a couple exceptions. The only couple exceptions are the ones that I'm telling you here. Is you can parlay when your legs on the parlay have 90 to 95% probability per leg. Because now if you put 2 or 3 of those together, you're still overall giving yourself a 70+% shot at hitting even that, a 2 or 3 leg parlay, because of the play that you're putting in there. A lot of people don't understand that. They do the opposite. They do, like I said, for the home run parlay stuff. Like they'll put 3 plus 500s together where that gives you a 1% chance of winning. Yeah, you can win 30 to 50 times your money, but you have a 1% chance of that even happening, which is not going to happen. You have to think on the opposite end of that. And that's where these sportsbooks don't want you to be at. They don't want you to be on the opposite and see that other side of where you could actually make money on them. But this is another example, is the hits. The hits under 1.5, you can smash a couple of those together, or you could single play. Like even this one right here says Will Smith, minus 350 on under 1.5. If he has like an 80% probability, 85% probability of going under 2 hits in the game, this is still some value on that. There's still value there. Okay? And a lot of people get upset sometimes trying to play something like that, because if you try to single play that and you're only playing $10 a play or $20 a play, then yeah, you're only making a couple bucks. But it is what it is. All right? If you're trying to win, it's better to win a couple dollars than what? Sacrifice your 10, 20 bucks and you end up losing. So you got to think of it that way. But this is another prop on here that, like I said, not too many sports books allow, and you can take advantage of on ESPNBet. Now, one of the last ones here that you can take advantage of as well is the pitcher earned runs allowed. So here's one that, not a lot of sports books offer as well, is when everybody else has a basis of 1.5. Let's see if we could find one of those pitchers today, actually, because there actually might be one that I can pull up to show a good example. Let's find an ace pitcher of where everybody else has it at 1.5, but we can somehow get it at 2.5. Bryce Miller, probably. Let's look at Bryce Miller here. We go to the player props. Let's go to earned runs. Pitcher earned runs allowed. All right, well, even Bryce Miller, they have 3.5 here. So they don't allow this at a lot of sports books. Like here across all the sports books, you'll find 2.5. Okay? But on ESPNBet, like you can get up to 3.5 sometimes. And then sometimes, like I was just saying, across every sports book, it'll be over under 1.5 earned runs. And then ESPNBet will give you an option for 2.5 earned runs, which is huge for a pitcher. It is. Especially if an ace pitcher has a great matchup and he's going against a team that he's not going to get hit a lot on. You can get an under 2.5 on that. You might have a crazy probability where everybody else is betting 1.5. So you have an edge over everybody else that you're, if you have this sports book, because you're able to find that. Same thing with 3.5 here, is across all the sports books, there's 2.5, but ESPNBet gives you an option for 3.5. Now the probability on this might be astronomical, all right? It might be 75, 80% chance that he doesn't give up 4 runs in a game. That's the type of stuff that you need to look at on ESPNBet to be able to actually win, because this is where you can win on this sports book. Now, there is a problem with getting limited, because a lot of people in our group have already got limited on ESPNBet. One of the reasons is, like I said before, because they are on that brink of not knowing if they're going to shut down or not. But one way to be able to get away from that is you can't bet crazy, all right? You can't be betting $1,000 a game. Can't be betting you can't really even be betting $500 a game on this sports book, to be honest, because you're still going to get limited. But you still have an edge. With this sports book, you still have an edge, and there's 3 areas in baseball where you have the edge. Okay? The home runs, the over-under on the home runs, you have an edge there if you're looking at the under. And then the player total hits, the under 1.5, you can get yourself an edge there. And then the pitcher earned runs allowed, you can get yourself an edge there. If every other market has 1.5 but they have 2.5 here, or if every other market has 2.5 and they have 3.5 here, you can get yourself an edge with those. You just have to be able to get the probabilities for all that stuff. Now, if you guys want the probabilities for all of that stuff, You guys already know. All you got to do is click the link down below, because then I teach you exactly how to use all these sports books. I teach you exactly how to manipulate them in your favor so you give yourself an actual edge rather than just doing what everybody else does and what the public does. And guess what? They all end up losing. All right, so all you got to do is click the link down below to be able to work with me so I can show you exactly how to profit every single month being a part of our team. All right, and remember, if you have an edge, then every bet becomes a winning opportunity. As always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.